Right then, one more time before the international break, after what was a very good but very tiring trip over to Germany for most of the Newcastle fans. It's Bournemouth away. We've got more injuries than the bloody RVI in Newcastle, more people on the treatment table in the RVI, but can we do it against a team that, in my opinion, we should still be looking to bring 3 points home from? It's a Bournemouth match preview, Newcastle fans, so do us a favour and make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black and White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans, and should I say Guten Tag, because to be totally honest with you, that's the only language that I brought back, the new words that I brought back from Germany. I already knew those ones before I went. I'll tell you what I did bring back though, a big, dirty, stinking hangover. My God, it is now 3 days on since I got back from that trip. I don't know whether it's the lack of sleep, I don't know whether it's the German beer, I don't know whether it's the German sausage. But my God, if anyone's watching this who was on that trip, please let me know in the comments whether you still feel like an absolute bag of balls. If you are new around here, Newcastle fans, do us a favour, give us a little likey-loo, whack that subscribe, it does mean a lot to me. I did get my match vlogs posted a little bit later than planned, but I just wasn't capable. I did not sleep on that trip. There was no way on that 6-hour night train to Berlin before my flight to Manchester, and then a car ride from Manchester that I was focusing on putting a YouTube video together. I couldn't physically do it, but my Dortmund match vlog, where I talk about how ridiculous that the seating was, and being crushed in with the other Newcastle fans in the Dortmund away end, is actually one of my favourite match vlogs. So if you want to jot down, I just posted it on Friday. I speak to lots of Dortmund fans, a lovely guy called Marcus who I speak to at the end, and we talk about all things football. Please give it a watch. It was an amazing trip. Just a shame the result, and also the poor security and just organisation, if you want to put it that way, in the Dortmund away end ruined it a little bit. I never saw any of the first half, so give that a watch. I'm not going down to Bournemouth. Let's just hold a couple of minutes of quiet time, as I did for the Wolves away game, to just give that a thought. I'm not going. It's just one game too many. I do have a ticket, which is more frustrating. I couldn't get the bus because it was just too early in the morning. Too many taxi rides to get to the bus and get back home. A lot of money. So I even posted on my social media whether anyone was driving down that I could jump in with. No luck. So that's broke my heart a little bit, but I have been away from my beloved dog for 4 days, going over to Germany, so I get to spend the full weekend with her, and I'll probably head over to Newcastle to watch it in a pub. I do not like not being at the game. Bournemouth's a stadium, just by circumstance, I've never been able to get down to. I missed it last season, so it does break my heart that I'm not there, especially when I had the golden ticket in my hand. But we move on. My body, my sleep, everything could probably do with that break. And then we've got a nice international break where we can just hit the reset button, get some players back from injury and move on. Now, going into this match, there's a lot of talk from some quarters of Newcastle fans on social media that it's one game too many, with the suspensions, with the injuries, that we should only maybe be looking to maybe get a point, and that will be a decent result. I don't buy it. I don't, and you can call me Mr. Optimistic, you can call me, oh God, he's Matthew with his positivity again. The reason I don't buy it is we are playing a team in Bournemouth who've only won one game this season, which was a bottom of the league basement battle against Burnley recently. The only other wins they've had has been in the Carabao Cup against low league opposition. They aren't a good team. I don't like their manager. I think they were stupid to get rid of Gary O'Neill. That really, really went pear-shaped for them. And if you look at our team, let's focus on who we do have rather than who we don't have. Anthony Gordon in some of the form of his life. Callum Wilson may make it against his old team. He's only got a tight hamstring. He's been called in the England squad. His hamstring hasn't gone, so he may play. You've got Willock, who's busting a gut to get back to the Willock that we know, and he's looked really bright since he's come back. Joe Linton's the Joe Linton that we were waiting to get back, the incredible Brazilian Hulk. Longstaff's playing great week in, week out. You've got Trippier's set pieces. You've got Livramento looking a beast at both ends of the pitch. We still have a team that is much better than Bournemouth's side, and I don't care what anyone says. And yes, we played in midweek, but we travelled back probably Wednesday morning, if not Tuesday night. Nice little day off for the lads. Thursday, Friday. A late kick-off on the Saturday, probably a nice chilled trip down to Bournemouth, maybe some fish and chips by the seaside. I don't buy that we should not be going down there to look to get 3 points. We really, really should, in my opinion. It's a really poor team we're coming up against. And yes, there's no easy game in the Premier League. I'm not an idiot. I know that. And this will not be an easy game. It'll probably be a scrappy game. We'll probably have to put the graft in. And yes, we are missing. Like, would I prefer to have Bruno available? Would I prefer to have Botman available? And Isak? And Murphy? And, the list goes on. Of course I would. But as Eddie Howe keeps saying, which is one of the many, many reasons I love the man, let's not cry over spilt milk. Let's not. Every team gets injuries. I'm sure we'll get later in the season, we'll have barely any. Maybe at the most important part of the season, let's get them out of the way now. Who knows? But we just work with what we have. And Bournemouth, for me, have not shown enough in the times that I have watched them. And, I'm not going to claim I've watched them a lot this season. They just got beat 6-1 last week. They ship goals for fun. They're not really scoring that many at either end. Solanke, not really that much of a threat. They do have some good players in certain areas. It's not a team that I look at that I'm massively concerned about. And yes, all of this stuff could land egg on my face like this. Like literally a Mike Ashley slap in the face. That's what it could feel like come full time tonight. And we'll see. I could be proved wrong on everything I'm saying right now by us putting in a very lethargic, very tired, and I don't want to say clueless, that's harsh, but attacking wise maybe lacking a little bit of intent because we're missing some of them bigger attacking players. We will see. Now, going into this one, of course, I'm going to do it because there's no match vlog coming, which again breaks my heart that I'm not going to be reporting any of this from the Vitality Stadium down on the seaside. I'm going to give you some Bournemouth versus Newcastle stats. Stats. Yes, what's becoming a very regular now. Let's get this one underway. So Bournemouth have only actually won 2 games against Newcastle in the top flight ever. And guess who the manager of Bournemouth was for them 2 wins? A certain Mr. Sir King Eddie Howe, who will be in the opposing dugout for this one. They were both at St James's Park, one of them under Steve McLaren, which was an awful, awful day at the office. I don't know whether anyone remembers that one. Let me know in the comments if you do. So they were maybe wishing that Eddie Howe was still in the dugout for this match. Now, on more of a worrying statistic, Newcastle have only kept 1 clean sheet in their last 14 away games, and that was that absolute battering of Sheffield United. So we are no longer looking that solid when we play away from home. And Nick Pope will be craving a clean sheet. Jesus, more than I crave my Sunday dinner. When I can smell the Yorkshire puddings getting cooked. Also, that Sheffield United game is our only away win in 7. So our away form this season, for whatever reason, has not been that good. So there's lots of things we can correct there. And let's hope that Bournemouth's poor run of form against us in the top flight continues. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Black and White Banter Stats. So, teams for this one. Because of the opposition, I would actually go. There's lots of talk about should Livramento play. I thought his role against Dortmund, although I think it was tactical from the defending he could do from midfield in front of Trippier, I don't really necessarily want to see that too much moving forward. I think Livramento is best utilised as an attacking defender because he's a brilliant defender, but he's also quite capable, as we already know, at getting forward. So for this one, with Burn injured, I would go Trippier left back, Livramento right back, and our usual centre-back partnership. First midfield 3 without Bruno, who I do think is going to be a loss. Our record last season without Bruno, including in this fixture, was not very good. I think it was 4 draws and 2 defeats, or it might be the other way around. I don't have that stat handy. Black and White Banter Stats letting the side down there. But yeah, Bruno, I do think from an attacking point of view, makes us tick a little bit. He does. I think he improves the players around him. So he's going to be a big loss. So the midfield 3, I would go Joelinton, Longstaff and Willock, which is an attacking first 3. So Longstaff may have more of a defensive importance in that first 3. And then the front 3, assuming Callum Wilson might pass fit for this one against his old side, I would go Gordon, Wilson and Almiron. If he doesn't, I would look to bring in Lewis Hall and move Joe Willock on one. So a midfield 3 of Hall, Joelinton and Longstaff, and then a front 3 of Willock, Gordon through the middle, which we know he can do. It's a very different option you have through the middle when Gordon plays. You're more looking on that last pass to get him running in between the lines, and then Almeida on the right. I still believe, as I said at the start of this video, that's a team that can beat Bournemouth. If we play our game, if we play with our intensity, if we quieten the crowd in the first 20 minutes, we should be bringing 3 points back home from the seaside going into this international break. And then let's press the reset button. 2 weeks, get some players back, chill out, go on your holidays, whatever the players want to do, go off to Dubai, go to Benidorm for a couple of €1 beers, whatever time off the players get during this international break, reset, come back stronger. And every single time we seem to have a break, we do come back stronger. But wouldn't it be nice if we finished with 3 points? There's lots of doom and gloom. Every time we lost to Dortmund at home, there was suddenly talk about us missing this, lacking that, our transfers being questioned. You name it. We've lost to Dortmund again, and I feel like that atmosphere is there again a little bit in the fan base. Just a little bit. Some fans are saying, yeah, we went to Dortmund, we gave it a good go. Good team. But I just feel like we're not used to defeats, that it causes this weird atmosphere in Newcastle. I'm curious to get other people's thoughts on that. So score predictions anyway. I'm going to go Newcastle 2-0. Finally break that clean sheet hoodoo away from home. Not comfortable, but enough to get over the line. That's what I'm going to go for. That would be lovely. I will be going over to a Newcastle pub, so let me know if anyone is around in town watching this match. Let us know which pub you'll be in. I'll hopefully maybe speak to some fans. I just don't want to watch it in the house. I might even bring the dog with us. Who knows? Find some dog-friendly pubs. But I'm confident going to this one. And I tell you what, Newcastle fans, Dortmund was amazing. We're still in the Champions League group. We're still sitting pretty tight in the league. Injuries they'll lessen. I'm telling you, they will ease off, especially with a 2-week break. Let's go down to the seaside and, like a seagull, steal all the fish and chips in sight. And more importantly, steal those 3 points. If you've liked this video, whack that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you for another one later in the night where we are talking about Eddie Howe's mags. Eddie Howe's absolutely class mags being 3 points better off. How are you, lads?